All right, think about it for a second. That round little egg on your breakfast table, did it come first or the chicken that laid it? The question sounds simple enough, but the moment you start thinking about it, your head begins to spin.
Exactly. And this question isn't new at all. It's ancient. Even the great Greek philosopher Aristotle thought about it. From egg to chicken and chicken to egg, this endless cycle, where does it begin? It's truly a fascinating puzzle about life and creation.
Absolutely. So today we decided to dive a little deeper into this age-old yet always fresh mystery to see what science says and what logic has to say.
Sounds great. Let's begin our attempt to unravel this riddle.
If we think about it generally, egg-laying creatures existed long before chickens appeared on Earth, right? Like dinosaurs, they also laid eggs. So by that logic, eggs came much earlier.
Yes, that's true. But the real twist lies elsewhere. The question is, which came first, the chicken or the chicken's egg?
Exactly. That's where the fun begins.
And there's actually a strong argument in favor of the chicken. Scientists have found that the hard eggshell of a chicken's egg is formed using a crucial protein called OV17.
OV17? Interesting.
Yes, and the fascinating part is, this protein, OV17, is produced only inside a chicken's ovaries, nowhere else.
Oh, so that means to make that egg, you first need the machine, the chicken itself.
Logically, yes. Without that protein, the shell couldn't form. And without the shell, can we really call it a chicken's egg? That's the question.
That's quite a point. But think about it another way. Where do new species or traits originate in living beings? It all starts with genetic changes, mutations.
Right. And when are these mutations most effective? At the very beginning, when a sperm and egg combine to form the first cell, the zygote. That happens inside the egg itself.
Exactly. So couldn't it be that a bird very close to the modern chicken, let's call it a proto-chicken, made it with another proto-chicken and laid an egg in which a genetic mutation occurred, resulting in what hatched being the first true chicken?
Wow, that's a fascinating possibility. So, genetically speaking, the change that made the first chicken actually happened inside the egg.
Yes, but that brings us to another question. What exactly do we mean by a chicken's egg? Is it the egg laid by a chicken or the egg from which a chicken hatches?
Oof, that makes it even trickier. Let's take a nearly impossible example. If somehow an elephant laid an egg and a lion hatched from it, would we call that an elephant's egg or a lion's egg? Sounds absurd, I know, but it's a question of definition.
Evolution is an extremely slow and continuous process. Like how wolves gradually became the domestic dogs we know today. It didn't happen in one day or one generation. It took thousands of years through small genetic changes and maybe human selection.
Similarly, it's unlikely that one day a proto-chicken suddenly laid a perfect modern chicken's egg.
So we can imagine two possible scenarios, right?
Exactly. One, a proto-chicken's egg experienced a genetic mutation inside, and from that hatched the first chicken. That chicken later laid more chicken eggs. So the first chicken came from a proto-chicken's egg.
That's one possibility. And the second, a proto-chicken laid an egg where the embryo inside mutated and turned into the first chicken. Now, what do we call that egg? The proto-chicken's egg or the chicken's egg, since it contained the first chicken?
Exactly. So if we go by the second definition, that a chicken's egg means an egg with a chicken inside, then we must say the egg came first, because the first chicken formed inside it.
So ultimately, the answer depends on how we define the phrase chicken's egg. Quite a philosophical twist, isn't it?
Indeed. But I think there's one thing most people would agree on.
What's that? That the first creature we recognize today as a chicken must have hatched from some egg, whether that egg belonged to its proto-chicken ancestor or was the first genetically distinct chicken egg.
True. A bird can't exist without an egg.
So, in the literal sense, an egg had to come first because the chicken didn't just fall from the sky, it hatched from an egg.
So, after all these years of debate, we finally have an answer, though it came through a few twists and definitions.
Have maybe not a final answer, but what I love is how humans have thought, debated, and reasoned about this question for centuries. This very curiosity has inspired our imagination and understanding of life itself.
Exactly. Maybe the point isn't just finding one right answer to life's mysteries. Maybe it's about the thrill of discovery, the endless desire to understand. That's the real gift.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful thought experiment. It teaches us that sometimes the answer depends on how we frame the question and how we interpret the words. Two meanings of chicken's egg, two possible answers.
So perhaps the real question isn't which came first, the chicken or the egg, but why we always look for one single black and white answer for everything.
Close your eyes and imagine. Millions of years ago, a strange-looking bird laid an egg, and through ages of change came today's chicken. In such a vast timeline, does it really matter who came first?
Maybe it doesn't. What matters is understanding the journey, respecting the wonder of evolution. And this question gives us a chance to reflect on that.
Exactly. So maybe our final thought should be, are we just seeking a mechanical answer, or are we celebrating the endless mystery, creation, and transformation of life itself? Let's leave that question open for us to ponder.
That's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you.